the dog shows suddenly in the later part of the 90s, in 1996 onwards, went to the wrong hands, and it was dictated by people who would actually buy off the dog shows and would make sure that the judges who judged would also have to actually put up dogs that was which they had to put up dogs that were suggested to them, or actually otherwise they wouldn't be invited. So this happened, this kept on happening, and there were lots of clubs that fell into the trap, where the clubs played a vital role, so much so that they would organize a show. The show would be totally sponsored by certain people who would have their list of dogs that had to win, and they would pay for judge from anywhere in the world, but then the judge would have to be tutored to place certain dogs. Well, this, for a while, it was only one or two players who were actually involved in doing such manipulations. And India being a vast country, so they were actually there, okay. Means if they knew that this exhibitor would be going to, say, Delhi, then they would avoid the Delhi show and go to Bombay. So it was like that. And the club, actually the parent body, did not allow people to become members. We only have a few hundred members, whereas which is very ridiculous for a country which is the highest populated country in the world, with the biggest democracy in the world, with 28 states and 8 union territories, where we should have millions of members. We only have a few hundred. So that was designed so that the entire control of the club would be kept into the hand of the syndicate, and the syndicate could actually means ascertain who would win, who would not win. So it is sad that the entire thing went in a manner, and it went to such proportions that you have judges being paid a huge sum of money. Then you bring in judges from other countries who are coming in here fully informed as to what they are supposed to do, expected to do. They are expected to put up certain dogs, and so naturally the general people started going away from dog shows. The principal dog shows, which are called the championship shows, or then this trend went to such proportions that from entry, say, in 1995, I can tell you, at the Talkatoora Stadium in Delhi, where the national show was held, we had an entry of 1,200. But, that is a dream nowadays for even the best of judges if they're flown from any part of the world, they would never attract that kind of entry. That is because the credibility of dog shows have lost out. Now, of course, if you take the contributions, what is the contribution to the kennel control? How do they make the money? It is the registration system. When they register a dog, which is a piece of paper. I have in the other day explained, if you can look up the myth about the registration, you will find a lot of things that would be of interest to you. Now, this registration, if you say, what is the contribution, zone-wise or state-wise or whatever, I would say Calcutta have been contributing to the main club. The highest in registration money over the years, if you calculate even today, because the records are already there, so you can find out that how big the contribution can be. So similarly, there have been other places like, I'm sure Bangalore or Delhi and other places also have contributed a lot, and many other places. And all of them, this money is actually accumulated from the dog lovers of this country. So naturally, this money should go back to the game to develop the sport. Instead, they have the membership of the this dog club has been hiked and hiked so that most people would not want to become members. With the pandemic, the COVID-19, this year we did not have the big shows. The big shows, of course, were small entries, but big time judges coming for a holiday, and they know exactly most of them, I wouldn't say all the judges would be doing that, but majority of the judges from across the globe, mainly from Europe and other places, when they come, they know exactly that when they go to India, they need to place certain dogs which they are told by the organizers, because that is how there is the ticket, and they get a fabulous holiday with all sorts of shopping money and things like that. So and all of this, hundreds of these judges are coming, and they come on tourist visa, which actually I'm sure there is provision that they're not tourists, because they're not coming here and seeing India and spending their money. They're coming here to earn. They're coming here, they're fully paid, and they get a pocket money, they get all hotel and staying arrangements totally free, paid for by Indians. So this is actually, they're not tourists. Just to cite an example, supposing I am invited to US, and if I write, I'm going to judge a dog show, I will be refused a visa. That's because it is the US, though they are so developed a country, and they would still want to assure that when there are so many US judges who could have done the job, why will you get somebody from outside who would rob money, one day's judging fees, which is $500 or $800 or whatever, which very well an American could have got. So what we do in India is very wrong, because in India we have now the judges are being paid quite a big fees. When these judges from outside come here, and they're actually camouflaging their visit as a tourist to India, and the judges show, they rob an Indian judge of that earning that fees. Otherwise, an Indian judge could have judged that dog show and would have got that money from the organizers. Over and above, the club lands up paying several lakhs of rupees, which is paid in cash. So they're buying dollars or euros or pounds from the grey market, the black market, whatever you call it, and and they're paying in dollars, spending rupees, so they're paying buying that and paying. So which is of course the administration of this country will, I'm sure, someday realize that these hundreds of judges that they're coming, and not only that, the hundreds of handlers, they're also coming. They're professional people who who collecting money and going from this country, that also must be recorded. It must be official. It cannot be clandestine. It cannot be against the law of the land. We should not conceal any information when we are filling out our visa application forms. No organization should be allowed to carry on such activities which actually goes against the country's rules. Now coming to the judges and dog shows, there are really so much of potential in this country and so much of potential in our dog lovers and our people who, in spite of all the hardships, they're not being allowed to become members, or there is no way that you can learn about dogs. The clubs have no policy. Well, I have from my very earlier days have known of organizations called Judges Training Committee and whatever. But I can tell you that there has been no such activity in the Judges Training Committee where they have trained judges. There is no opportunity. There has been no opportunity as far as I can think, because I can really record things from early 1970s to the present day. Well, I have become a judge in that system, and I have become a judge on my own. I have been tutored by very senior people, and I'm very fortunate to actually be able to come close to them, and they have given me all encouragement, and that's how I became a judge. And I realized that it's just a learning process. So when you become a judge, you just got a license, and then you start learning dogs from that day in a different scale. Because in order to perform, you need to know your subject. And when I've gone across various countries of the world and I have judged so many breeds, of course I've kept many breeds, but there are hundreds and hundreds of breeds which I have never kept, but I have judged them. So when I know that lots of these people who have actually exhibited under me in having different breeds are actually connoisseurs. Many of them know the subject much better than me. But I, as an adjudicator and a licensed judge, I'm supposed to know, and I'm supposed to deliver, I'm supposed to judge the breed, and for that knowledge is necessary. It is not my personal opinion that really matters. It is the knowledge that I've acquired by actually learning from experts, from breed specialists, and that knowledge I have to exert. And it's not that if I have 5 or 10 dogs, you have to be able to place 1 to 10 in the order of merit. So what is the order of merit? It is I have to have that knowledge about the breed to be able to do such. This year, we have seen numerous pet shows being organized, or shows organized by the Indian Kennel Club and Indian National Kennel Club. Then we have an organization which is going to have its show on the 21st of March in Delhi, organized by PAWS, Pet Animal Welfare Society, which they are going to organize a German Shepherd show. And you see the huge entries of German Shepherds coming for such events. And the judges and for all these shows, the judges have no fees, they're not paid anything. It's an honorary job. It was always an honorary job even for us when we go abroad and judge in most of the countries, it's an honorary job. But in India, it was the syndicate decided and made it into a very well-paid job where, the syndicate boss, he actually manipulated and organized so he could judge 10, 15, 20 shows. So, and earn that huge amount of fees. Most judges will not get an appointment because here, actually, in order to get an appointment at an Indian show, you need to be obliging. You need to go to an organization. You're expected to actually find out from the organizers who've invited you as to which dogs you need to put up, because the lavish arrangements for staying and the fees and everything is being paid by certain exhibitors, and those certain exhibitors are exhibitors who have to win, and that is why they put in their money. So these shows have actually lost from grace, then people do not want to participate in such shows. But still, the end of the day, you need to call your dog a champion or something like that. You may need to go reluctantly just to win that title if it is possible and all that. So you have a few dogs participating. But it is very unfortunate that such a situation has come about. But when you go to these pet shows nowadays, that is being organized all over India in numerous towns. Means if you look at it, it's just every week there are, even in Calcutta, I have seen that in a weekend you have 2-3 shows happening in different parts, and still they're having 100-200 dogs, which is tremendous. And the judges see the enthusiasm in which which the judges are performing. They don't get fees, and somehow there is a system that is falling into place, and experienced breeders, exhibitors are being invited to judge these shows. And I must admit that a lot of them do a wonderful job. Really, they will make no mistake in picking out their winners. Though I I refrain from judging because I have had a very good run and I have judged so much, and I should not be in competition and go around judging the shows, which I refrain. But I'm very appreciative of the people who are judging. Most of them are friends of mine, and I've known them for years, and they're truly knowledgeable people. They've actually worked their way in the dog world. They have owned great dogs. They have bred from them. They have produced winners. Some of them are great organizers. They've organized many big shows and things like that. And they really have an insight. But I still feel for them that all of them needed a better treatment. They needed organization to take care of them, to acknowledge them, to certify them, and therefore a regulatory body which will take care of the dog lovers of this country is the necessity of this hour. I think the judges should all go through a training program. It is not that everybody needs the same type of training, but a comprehensive training program is a must. Like if I, at this age, after having judged in so many countries of the world, means I've been to Australia maybe 10 times, 5 times to New Zealand, 5 times to South Africa, maybe 20 times to Philippines, and so many countries, and numerous times, and hundreds and thousands of shows maybe that I have judged. But I still feel I have a lot to learn, and I would do well with such programs where dog shows judges get trained and get an opportunity to listen to famous personalities in this dog world from across the world. So I think a judges training program to let the people who are interested to judge dog shows participate and get them better equipped. India can afford thousands of dog shows a year that they can support. That is the kind of the population of dogs in this country. Well, if you want to really, a real survey can always be done, and you will find out that the Indian dog-loving community is really vast, and many countries put together. That is what India is. As far as population is concerned, population of dogs is concerned. So I appeal to everybody. What I am going to show you, what is running in the visuals behind me, are dog show, this year's current dog show, some of the scenes, like shows in Kolhapur, and where you had see the wonderful quality of dogs that are being exhibited, and see how the judges are actually going about evaluating the dogs. They really look professional. They really must become very commendable for them to be doing so. And I would encourage the more and more people to come into this fancy, and I'm sure we will today or tomorrow have a regulatory body that will be taking care of all the exhibitors, organizers, would-be organizers, would-be judges, and we will be one of the leading dog game countries of this world. With this, I sign off tonight, but I'll be back again with more news and my vision on different topics of the dog world, of the animal world. Bye. Stay tuned to Animals and Pets with Partha. Please subscribe, press the bell button, like and share. So we will be together in all the coming episodes, and you will come across numerous very interesting personalities from the animal world. Good night and goodbye.